Hey fellow Star Citizens, Scrapshed here. In today's episode, we'll be looking at every Star Citizen's best friend, the mobiGlas. What is it? How does it work? And what can it do for you? If you find this information helpful, please subscribe and make sure to smash that like button. It helps me to know that this is the type of content people are looking for. Let's get started. So, to initiate your mobiGlas, you need to press F1. This pulls up the main screen. Contains certain personal details like your name, which is listed twice for some reason. The current balance and credits. Current crime stat. Which you can get a crime stat. Basically, it's for breaking the law in Star Citizen. You can receive a crime stat for trespassing, for destruction of property, or for killing guards during bunker missions, which I have been known to do a lot. There's a section on the screen here for suit status that tells you, kind of monitors the levels of your oxygen. It's useful if you're out, say, cave mining or in an environment where there is no oxygen and you're relying on the oxygen in your suit. So that's something that you should track when you're outside of your ship or in, like I said, an environment where there's no oxygen. This screen also it doesn't really have a name that I've found, so I'm just going to call it the main screen. And if you need to get back to it, you just need to press that round button there in the middle of the lower bottom of the middle. So, okay, so let's move on to the next screen. That's the comlink screen. And the comlink screen provides you with chat abilities. You can chat with other players in the global chat. You can chat with your friends, listed here. And you can also request landing services. You can also request landing and takeoffs from landing services, which is always the first one in your friends section. So you'd want to click right here on this little chevron. If you're leaving, you're only using this when you're in your ship. So if you're in your ship and you want to take off, you click on that, and the hangar door is open. If you want to land, you're coming up on the spaceport. You come in here, you click on the landing services chevron there, and they'll assign you a landing pad. So pretty much what the comlink is used for. Now we'll go over here to the vehicle loadout manager. And this allows you to configure your ship's weapons and systems. So I'll go over here, I'll pick one of my, let's do the Aegis Saber. This is one, it only allows you to make changes to ships that are stored at the location where you are. So for instance, I'm in Lorville right now, that's where my Aegis Saber is stored, so I'm able to make changes to it. If my Aegis Saber was stored at Microtech, I would not have access to it from Lorville. So, all right. So to change any of the systems, you just go up here and you click on either systems, paint, or vehicle weapons. Paint is if you happen to buy. I don't have a paint for my Aegis, but if I actually paid real world money with this, I could have bought a paint scheme for it. But primarily, you're going to be working with systems and vehicle weapons. So these are all the different kinds of systems that you normally have in a ship. You have coolers, you have power plants, a quantum drive, shields, that sort of thing. So to change that, like let's say I wanted to give it a zero rush cooler, I just have to go up here, just make sure one's available, and click on it. And now it has a zero rush in that slot for that cooler. If I don't want anything in that slot, I can just click on unequip, and now the cooler slot is empty. Also, if you notice, there is a number available and a number in use. So for instance, I do have two ultra flow coolers available that I could assign. So if I click here, and now it says one available and one in use. I don't think I have any. Okay, there we go. Here's 0 available. Let's say I really wanted a hydrocell in there, a hydrocell cooler. If I click on it now, it tells me which ships are currently using it. and it won't let me assign it. So for instance, right now this the hydrocell is being used by my Aurora MR for both coolers. So that's pretty much how you change out different systems, and it also works similarly for vehicle weapons as well. So if we go over and look at vehicle weapons, first you have all of your missiles, then you have your guns. So again, if I wanted to change my Panther out to another gun, here's all the other guns I have. So I want to make it a Mantis GT 220 Gatling. I have 5 available, so I can click on it, and now it's a Mantis GT 220 Gatling, and it's equipped. So that's great. This also shows you, if you hover over any of the weapons, it gives you detailed information over here about the size and the grade, and just general information, which is kind of helpful. So now for missiles are a little different. If you wanted to change, like right now I have Thunderbolt 3 missiles in here. If I wanted to change this to a completely different missile, I think I have other missiles, but right now, for instance, it doesn't show you any other available missiles because you have to unequip all the missiles on that missile rack. There we go. So now if I want to change out the missiles, now I can use Arrestor 3 missiles if I want. And as soon as I pick a different missile, or pick a missile, all the other missiles will disappear. I can only use the Arrestor 3 missiles on that missile rack. And that's how all missiles work. You basically, if you want to change missiles, you have to unequip all the missiles on that rack before you're able to select a different type of missile. Alright, so now that we've made all our changes, we have to in order to save all the changes, I go down here and click on Save and Equip. Otherwise, it won't save the changes. Pretty much it for Loadout Manager. Next one is called Knickknacks. Now, if you're like me, you've got a ton of stuff everywhere, and maybe you remember you bought a drive at some point, but you don't remember where you left it. You would go Knickknacks looking for it. So, for instance, here's Hurston. Let's go look at everything I have in Hurston. I click on Open, and then apparently I have stuff in all these locations. I don't know what I have over here in Edmond. Nothing. Must be a bug. Like in Lorville, I know I have a lot of stuff. Yep. See, these are all the different items currently stored in Lorville. So if I needed, if I wanted this particular piece of torso armor, I know where I can go get it. I'd have to go to Lorville to pick it up. So it shows you, usually only shows you about 10 items per page, but I think the first page, there's a bug. It looks like it shows like 20 or 30. But there's a next and previous button down here, so you just go to the next page. And as you can see, it only shows this many items. And you click next, going through each of the items. And again, you can click on any of them and it will give you the detailed information about them. Pretty much it for Knickknacks. Next one is Skyline. Skyline is used primarily for navigation, and obviously only on your ship unless you just need to reference where certain planets or moons are. I'll have a whole other video on how to navigate and use the quantum drive, but just know that the Skyline part of mobiGlas is used for navigational purposes. Mmo Trader. I've actually never used this myself, but this is used for transferring money, credits, between other people, usually friends that you have on your list. You can send a certain amount of money if you like. I've never actually used it, but that's what it's used for. Then we go to the Contract Manager. Contract Manager is probably one of the other most important parts of mobiGlas. Definitely a section you'll use the most. It lists all the different types of contracts that you can accept, and if you complete the contract, you earn a certain number of credits. So for instance, right now I have this delivery mission selected. It's worth 3,000 credits. The contract availability is unspecified, and it's from Red Wind Line Haul. And it gives you a little description about what you're expected to do. You're going to be picking up one package from Edmund on Hurston, and you're going to be delivering it to Han on Magda, which is a moon of Hurston. So if you want to accept this contract, if that works for you, then you click on accept, and let's do that. Click on accept, and immediately moves it over to the accepted tab. And as you can see, it's telling us what our first primary objective is, the fact that we have to go pick up over Edmund. Again, the same description we saw earlier, along with the amount we would receive if we completed the contract. They have two other buttons down here, abandon and untrack. Abandon is for if you don't feel like you can complete the mission. Sometimes you can't, simply because there's a bug in the contract and you just can't complete it for whatever reason. So if you click abandon, then you are no longer have that contract available anymore, and it'll not be, you will not see it in your accepted tab. Untrack is useful if you have multiple contracts that go in at the same time. What will happen is, for instance, right now this package that they want me to pick up, if I was flying there, you would see a little basically a diamond on the location where I'm supposed to go to pick up the package. And if you have multiple contracts, you may want to do them out of order. You may have 3 contracts, maybe you want to do the second one. So you'll untrack the first one and track the second one, so you see the location where you need to pick up the package, and you won't see the others until you're ready to track them. So I found that actually pretty handy sometimes if I have multiple contracts going on. But going back to the general tab, you can see all the different contracts you have here. You have a search one. It usually involves looking for a person lost in a cave somewhere, wreck, and they tell you the amount of money you'll earn, amount of credits you'll earn. Group is sponsoring the contract, the description, and accept offer. Investigation is investigation is one where you're looking for somebody who is going to be dead. Basically, they're in a cave somewhere dead. You expect to find the body. This is actually a really good one for if you want to do cave mining, and you don't know how to find the cave or find a cave. Just accept this contract, and if you happen to find the body, that's great. Otherwise, you get to do a lot of cave mining, which is also great. So then there's also maintenance. Usually involves just picking up the trash. So yep, there's a disposal contract. So basically, they're going to give you a location you need to go pick up. It's considered a toxic waste or something, and you have to basically load it into your ship and fly off with it, and you immediately get 3,000 credits. So that's easy. Bounty Hunter. That one is for basically ship-to-ship combat, usually, and can get you a lot of credits if you do a lot of these. And they're fun. They're good. And they work the same way. Now, the very first one I have here, the Journeyman Tracker License Certification. If you notice, there's a fee with this one. That actually cost me $5,000, 5,000 credits to do. They won't pay me anything. But what it will do is it'll unlock other contracts that are worth a fair amount of credits. So I want to do that at some point. Then there's Mercenary. Mercenary usually is a lot of what we call bunker missions. Involve ship-to-ship combat, like remove claim jumpers. You have to go and basically destroy a lot of ships that are taking over a mining claim. So, and they all work the same. Basically, you accept the offer. It tells you where to go and what you're expected to do. And they'll all, like I said, they all end up in your accepted section here. so you can go see what which contracts you have currently active. After you complete a contract, it'll end up in your history section, and that's only active during this session. So as long as you're in Started Citizen, you'll be able to look at your history and be able to see what contracts you've completed. Beacons, I've never actually used myself. I believe what you can do with them is you can, let's say you are hurt, or your ship is damaged and you need a pickup, need somebody to come get you. You can basically offer a number of credits for somebody to come pick you up or come help you, or help provide medical support if needed. And basically you just sit there and wait for somebody to take that contract and come get you. Pretty much how contracts work. Contract manager. So now this other one here, the vehicle maintenance services. This actually is only used when you are sitting on a pad or in a hangar. And what this will let you do is it will let you refuel, rearm, or restock and repair. What you see here in number 3. Select which ones you want to do, and it'll tell you how much it'll cost. It'll cost you a certain number of credits, but that's where that is used. That's used specifically in hangars and when you're sitting in the pad in your vehicle. Journal. Journal I've never found a whole lot of use for, except for the very last section here, commodity price alerts. What that does is that tells you, kind of gives you a listing of overstock and understock purchase and sell prices throughout the system. So for instance, let's see if we can find one that will work. Okay, like here's medical supplies. They have an understock purchase price of $19.03 credits. So they are understocked, which means that's probably the high, that should be the high value. They need more of it. So we're looking for a matching medical supplies overstock. And the overstock one should be a lot less than 1903. So let's see if we can find one. Medical. There's a long list of a lot of plasma fuel. And I honestly rarely do this because I also take the chance of picking it up for one price and bringing it over for another price, and you may end up losing money in the process. You may end up gaining money, but you could also lose money too. So I'm a little wary of doing this, but I know some people who do it. So. Also, there may not be any medical. Nope, no medical. So you'd have to scan through here looking for a medical overstock, and then decide if you want to take that chance of buying it at the overstock price and selling it to the understock people. So that's it for the journal. I have another one here called Delphi. And what Delphi is, it lists all the different organizations in the Stanton system, and they all represent different jobs that you can do. Like Blackjack is security, Bounty Hunters Guild is bounty hunters, Civilian Defense, I'm not really that familiar with them. Kovalex is delivery, and of course Creator Security is also kind of bounty hunting. Versus Security is bounty hunting, and sometimes also missions as well. Red Wind Line Haul, we just saw earlier, they do deliveries as well. So when you complete one of the missions, you increase in rank. So for instance, if we go look at one where I actually have some ranking, here's Hurston Security. I've actually managed to move up through Advanced Tracker for their bounty hunting. For Security, which I believe is missions, I'm only up to level 1, so I'm not very far on that. I don't do a whole lot of bunker missions. Now if you look at the Bounty Hunters Guild, I'm getting pretty far up there. I only have one more level to get up up to, and then once I'm up in like level 6, I start seeing the really big ships like the hammerheads and things like that. So, and then Blackjack Security, similarly, they do bounty hunting as well as auctions. Really done a lot of work. I've not done a lot of work for them, so I'm not that. I've been focusing mostly on the Bounty Hunters Guild. So, but anyway, this is useful for just giving you an indication of where you are in terms of progressions through the ranks for the different organizations. And as you progress, the contracts will increase in value as well. That's helpful. So to leave mobiGlas, you just press F1. There we go. So that's my review of the functionality of the famed mobiGlas. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.